They do like the weight. Oh, come on. Oh, I can't look while I'm chewing.
The one thing that unites people across borders, nations, and continents is food. But let's be honest, food is always best prepared fresh. So I think many of us can agree that canned food is just yuck. Although some canned foods can pass in looks and taste, today we're taking a look at 20 of the worst canned foods out there. Number 1. Canned cheeseburger. A canned cheeseburger is one of the ugliest canned foods. You are guaranteed to gag from the look of it and from the taste of it as well. When you open the can, it reveals not a disassembled burger, but an already compressed and soggily assembled one. It tastes exactly how it looks: bland, mushy, and basically revolting. Number 2. Canned whole chicken. Whole chicken is such a nice, heartwarming meal when prepared fresh, but its canned variant is so disgusting it almost ruins your memories of the freshly prepared one. Canned whole chicken almost has a jelly-like outer structure, and if that wasn't disturbing enough, the chicken itself tastes like rubber. Some people even say it tastes metallic. Do yourself a favor and never pick up one of these canned whole chickens. Number 3. Canned haggis. Haggis is a traditional Scottish dish, which is actually really delicious, but its image is ruined by its more common canned counterpart. The texture of canned haggis is hated by many because it's supposed to be crumbly and coarse, but instead, the canned version just comes out to be mushy and pasty. The taste is another problem, as it either tastes really bland or over-salted. Definitely try the traditional freshly prepared haggis if you get the chance, and forget the canned one even exists. Number 4. Canned bread. Can you imagine something worse than having to eat soggy, moist bread? Well, that's exactly what you're gonna get when eating canned bread. Not only is it soggy, but canned bread tastes like a wet sock in your mouth. Bread is used so widely in many of our foods that the idea of having to replace it with canned bread is just dreadful. Number 5. Canned pork brains in milk gravy. First of all, what type of psychopath even creates something like this? The concept of this dish alone disturbs people, and to serve a watered-down canned version of it makes it all the more disgusting. Just opening the can gives you a greasy lump of gray brains floating in a milky gravy. Looking at it is enough to make most people gag, but tasting it means putting a slimy, bland piece of pork brain in your mouth and sipping the salty milk gravy along with it. Gross. Number 6. Canned SpaghettiOs with meatballs. This one is controversial. SpaghettiOs are a comfort food for many people in the US, as most of them grew up eating these. But the addition of the canned meatballs in SpaghettiOs just gives people nightmares due to its texture and taste. The meatballs themselves are soggy and spongy. They aren't appetizing to look at and don't make up with their taste either, because they taste like something you'd feed your dog. Number 7. Canned silkworm papaye. Canned silkworm papaye puts most people off due to its horrible smell. It smells musty and fishy and makes people want to throw up. The taste isn't any better, as it tastes so bitter that it's almost inedible. If you are going to try these though, be sure to douse it in soy, garlic, chili, and anything else in your spice cabinet to mask the damp and musty taste. Number 8. Canned corned beef hash. This one is maybe even more controversial than SpaghettiOs, as it does have a large fan base, but canned corned beef hash still remains one of the most hated versions of canned foods. This mainly comes down to how it looks like a solid block of jelly, like beef, before it's broken up and cooked. And like every canned food, it is so high in sodium people often deem it inedible. Number 9. Canned fish balls. Fish balls are a delicacy in many Asian cuisines, but only when they're fresh. Fresh fish balls have a firm and tender texture, but the canned ones come out way too rubbery and hard to chew. Most people hate how canned fish balls get stuck in their teeth and oftentimes taste flavorless. Number 10. Canned macaroni and cheese. Canned macaroni and cheese seems like a good idea, but you're better off getting the frozen versions of it. Pasta in a can feels and tastes soggy, like it's been placed in water too long, because it surely has. And the cheese sauce is almost always too thick and watery. Overall, this canned food is so disappointing, especially because fresh macaroni and cheese is absolutely delicious. Number 11, canned spinach. Spinach is a favorite vegetable for many because it's healthy, fresh, and easy to add to almost any dish. Canned spinach, though, is anything but healthy and fresh. They are soggy and slimy. The fresh, leafy smell of spinach is completely lost once it is canned. Not to mention, canned spinach is full of, you guessed it, sodium, making a perfectly healthy green bad for you. Number 12, canned green beans. Green beans are a staple vegetable in many homes. Freshly prepared green beans have the perfect crunch and have a savory, earthy taste to them. Canned green beans, however, just do not taste right and are too mushy for anyone to want to eat them. Number 13, canned ham. Yet another meat that has a horrible canned variant. Canned ham comes out of the can like a giant disgusting blob of meat and tastes exactly how you'd think it would taste, salty and chewy. It has little to no flavor profile and only leaves you wondering why you made the purchase in the first place. Number 14, canned sausages. Canned sausages just ruin everything you generally love about a good sausage. The texture of these canned sausages is moist and rubbery. They also taste way too underseasoned. Non-canned sausages are the way to go if you want to actually enjoy eating a sausage and not be left completely underwhelmed. Number 15, canned mushrooms. Mushrooms are such a nice addition to most dishes when they're fresh, but canning mushrooms ruins the texture we all love about regular mushrooms. They also taste bland and have a musty odor. Number 16, canned fruit cocktail. Have you ever had a fruit cocktail before? They're so full of flavor and delicious. Canned fruit cocktails, on the other hand, are a mix of soggy fruit. And when all of these fruits are combined, you cannot even distinguish one flavor of fruit from the next. They all mix into one over-sugared mystery fruit flavor. Number 17, canned liver pate. Liver pate is not very common, but when prepared freshly and properly, it can be quite delicious. But canned liver pate is just way too greasy to taste good. And on top of all the grease, the taste is so strong and off-putting that most people choose not to eat it. Number 18, canned peas. Similarly to canned green beans, canned peas are worse because of the freshness factor. Canned peas are always soft and they have a rather dull look, unlike those green peas found fresh from the market. The taste is surely lacking and they look miserable when presented on a plate. Number 19, canned beef stew. Beef stew is another comfort food for many people, but canned beef stew ruins that comforting feeling of this dish. Canned beef stew is salty, and the worst part of it all is the beef. The beef texture is so tough you might as well be chewing on a tire. Number 20, canned cheese. And finally, we have canned cheese. Let's be honest, the cheese in these cans stinks. The smell can be described as a mix of mold and toe fungus. It also has a vile taste that is utterly revolting. That's it for this list. If you found this video amusing, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel to never miss a video. And we are curious, leave a comment below stating what your choice would be as the worst canned food. See you next time.